What's happening, people? And once again, welcome back to youtube.com/CubCanTV for this, another edition of the CubCast Daily, our daily news section we are running at the moment, looking at all the latest news stories going on in and around international music. Obviously, we're based here in the UK, so I'm very excited to be bringing you a very cool update, to be honest with you, surrounding one of the most successful albums to ever land within the Afrobeats genre. Before we dive into today's content, however, I do want to say a massive thank you to all the brand new subscribers. You guys are absolutely killing it. We sailed past 50,000 at the weekend. We're now approaching 51,000. The growth is absolutely crazy, and I cannot thank you all enough. But if you are new and you haven't yet, please do make sure you are getting involved by hitting that subscribe button on the right hand side of the page. Of course, turning notifications on as well, leaving a like, leaving a comment, and all of that good stuff as we jump into today's discussion. Now, I did mention that today's discussion is based in and around one of the biggest projects to ever land from an Afrobeats artist, undeniably one of the most successful African music albums of all time, and we are celebrating it today because of two particular reasons. You may well have guessed already, by the way, we are talking about Made in Lagos, Wizkid's kind of premiere piece of work, one of the most celebrated albums to land in the last few years across the world in general, not just within Afrobeats as a sound, but this is an album that has changed the game undeniably. Now, the reason we are talking about it today, as I said, there's two reasons. The first one is, of course, that there is a brand new project on the way. More Love, Less Ego is a project we know has already been previewed to a small audience in, I think, in Brixton, and we know it's been in the works for a long period of time. I'm very excited to see what's going to be on that album. The collaborations have been leaked as well, but that's not the only reason. The reason we are celebrating this album is today because as of today, it has hit 100 weeks in the Billboard charts. Incredible. Truly incredible as an achievement. And I thought this would be a great opportunity to actually sit down and look through some of the other achievements that this album has kind of commenced with. It's been a truly outstanding run over the last 2.5 years, and the thing that makes it so exciting is that it continues to break records to this day. It's not just kind of like a one and done. Once the record's broken, it's there. No, it's going to break another one. It's going to win another award there. This is an album that was kind of celebrated at award ceremonies for about 2.5 years, purely because of when it was released in November. It kind of split itself across 2 different years worth of voting polls, and it's been such an exciting thing to see because we know that the new album is going to be landing around a similar time of year, which means we could well be seeing a similar outcome for More Love, Less Ego. Now, I've got a load of facts up in front of me that I do want to run through as we do break this down, because it is absolutely crazy. This is the longest charting Nigerian album and the longest charting African album to ever sit in Billboard. That is a truly incredible achievement. 100 weeks in the Billboard chart. Do you know how incredible that is for any artist, let alone an artist not based in America to begin with? It's a truly magnificent thing, and I think that fact alone is worth a serious level of celebration. But this is obviously a project that, off the back of it, did allow Wizkid to grow and become even more of a global superstar than he already was. Made in Lagos, the official 3-day tour event in London, it sold 48,000 tickets, and it's been tagged by the host as the fastest selling show to ever enter the arena, which is absolutely crazy when you think about how big a deal the O2 is. The O2 Arena is one of the most premier venues in the UK, whether it be comedians, bands, artists. This is one of the most difficult places to sell out in the world, and yet Wizkid has sold it out the quickest. It's an incredible thing, and it does show truly the power that he has at the moment and the ability that he has to transfer his sound across different avenues and across different audiences at the same time. Going for a couple of the facts around this album on Billboard that make it really interesting. It hit the height of 28 on the general Billboard, and obviously it went to #1 on the World Billboard chart as well, and it stayed there for 3 weeks. Now, this is the first Nigerian album to do so. It's the first Nigerian album to be there for 3 weeks and maintain consistent at that #1 position. Let's just talk about a couple of the other things about the album before we talk about the tracks themselves. The first African album to reach the top 5 on the US Apple Music chart as well, and that's just not a specifically global chart. That is just everything on Apple Music. This is the first African album to hit that top 5, which is a crazy achievement. Talking more specifically about numbers, it received a silver certification in the UK, I believe 60,000 units equivalent, and it received a gold certification in the US as well, with over 500,000 units equivalent moved, which is just an outrageously high level to be hitting in 2022. When you actually look about the songs involved as well, obviously the one that leaps out at you is Essence. Now, at the time when the album dropped, my 2 favourite tunes didn't include Essence, and I wouldn't would be lying to you now if I was to still say that Essence was one of my favourites. It's never been one of my favourites on the album, but it's undeniable the impact this tune has had on the global musical marketplace when you think about what Thames has gone on to do, being the lead kind of singing voice behind the new Black Panther trailer, for instance, appearing on Drake's album, appearing on Future's album, appearing on all these massive international stars' albums as a leading light. You then double that with obviously just what this has done for Wiz as well. Off the back of this, we saw him do the O2 tour, and this was a tune that very much spearheaded that as a movement. We also saw Justin Bieber get involved on a remix, which obviously amplified it even further. This track I don't think has ever gone below 3. It might have dipped down to 4 for 1 week, but it's never gone below 3 in the US Afrobeats Billboard charts as well. This is the consistent one. Peru and Peru and Loved One TT were above it, and now they're both below it. It has stayed and maintained that level of consistency for this entire period of time, which is just a truly magical thing. And to be honest, it's very much fitting for how big a deal this tune is, Essence. And this is obviously the kind of the figure note. This is the flag flyer. This is the kind of the line in the sand for this album where you go, have you heard that? Yeah, that's on there. That's why it's one of the most popular albums, and it's one of the main reasons why people get so engrossed in the track listing. But you look at the other tracks on there, the quality levels are just on a different level. You've got Ginger, you've got No Stress, you've got Smile, you've got all of these bangers, most of which we have reviewed on the channel at different times. But when you just keep going through those collaborations and again and again and again and again and again, Blessed, for instance, with Damian Marley, something so different but also a tune that really, really works and does, again, encapsulate his sort of global appeal right now. It's a fantastic achievement, and I wanted to put this video together more than anything else just to kind of actually sit and celebrate the artistry, the kind of genius and the song craftsmanship behind putting together a project that has this level of longevity. And for it to have such an incredible impact overseas from where it's from originally is without a doubt one of the best musical achievements of this century. In my honest opinion, I think the fact that this album has changed the game, the amount of doors this has opened at the same time. Bear in mind, Burna has been dropping albums alongside this. We've seen the singles from obviously CK and Fireboy DML and Rema and all these other big international collaborations happening. But you look at it, and the album that has consistently been there throughout all of that has been Made in Lagos. So you do have to take your hats off and go, wow, what an achievement it is. But there we go, guys. Let me know your thoughts on Made in Lagos hitting 100 weeks in a consistent row on the Billboard charts. Do you know how mad that is for any album? Like, it's over 2 years. It's coming up to 2 years. It consistently being in that chart. For an international album, it's one of the most outrageously cool achievements that has ever happened from what I can remember. But then, this does lead us on to the final bit of discussion, and that is, of course, the new album is dropping very soon. We know it's been previewed. Will this new album have the same level of longevity as Made in Lagos? Because for me, Made in Lagos is the kind of poster child of an album for this sound. It's one of the poster albums that has kind of pushed the sound more worldwide, brought loads of new people into the sound that weren't necessarily interested beforehand, so it's got a high bar to meet. Has Wizkid set the bar too high for himself? I don't know. Something inside me says that he probably hasn't, and we're going to be absolutely blown away. So there we go, guys. Do let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and of course, if you are new to the channel, do make sure you are getting involved by hitting that subscribe button on the right hand side of the page. Of course, turning notifications on as well, leaving a like, leaving a comment, and all of that good stuff, and we shall see you all next time. Peace.
Sounding so good right now. But they're sounding a bright and town.
Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel right now, CubCam TV. Stay locked.